Konnichiwa, this is Ninjazola90 here, and today I will be reviewing the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, Godzilla 2024 pre-evolved figure, and I got some things to say about him. So, without further ado, let's get things started. And now, here we have the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, Godzilla 2024 pre-evolved figure right before us, in all of his very fearsome, very beautiful atomic glory. As you can see, this is a well-sculpted, well-detailed figure, sculpted by the famous S.H.MonsterArts sculptor himself, the man, the myth, the legend. We all know him by name, Yuji Sakai. As you can see, this figure is more of a darker charcoal gray colorization with some very beautiful icy blue metallic dorsal spines, looking like he's charged up, getting ready to fire his heat ray. Technically, this pretty much is like a heat ray legendary 2019 Godzilla, if you really look at it that way, because this does come with the heat ray breath effect part, like so, which I will get into later in this video. He also comes with his interchangeable mouthpiece for the heat ray breath effect part. You can also put this on a Tamashii Nation stand, and he comes with interchangeable hands to where if you want to take his claw finger hands out and put him with the more relaxed hands, you can. So that's a thing. We also have a darker, darker, weathered, lighter brown colorization on the hand claws and toe claws. Looking pretty good, very realistic for what it is. We also bring him up, and we can see that he has some very beautiful, bright blue sapphire eyes. Very nice, like that. And with that said, I will now be going over articulation with this figure, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, working our way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting more in depth with the rest of the figure. So let's get started. And now, starting things off with the upper body portion of the figure, as you can see, we have his very fearsome looking Godzilla face there. We have those beautiful pearly whites inside of his mouth, and if we turn him, we can see those finer details on his dorsal spines. Especially if you look closely, you can see these sort of like icy vein looking paint apps inside of his dorsal spines. If you look closely, you see them. Very nice. Kind of almost look like veins in there, especially if you turn them this way. Especially that one right there. That one pops a lot. You can see that. And that one in the corner right there. Very beautiful. I like it. And they're also very spiky as well. So definitely be careful, because this is not a kid's toy. Inside of his mouth can open and close on a ball joint. We can see, like I said, his very beautiful bone white teeth. We can see the finer details on the inside of his mouth. We can see the top of his gums. We can see all of those finer details on his tongue. His tongue is also articulated if you want to move that, but mine, I think it's just stuck with paint, and I'm just not going to attempt to move it because I don't want to break anything. But anyway, articulation wise, for the upper body portion of the figure, the head can look up about that much. You can look down about that far. You can look further down if we bend the waist, because we do have an ab crunch, although it's a bit tight on this one. The shoulders are on ball joints, so we can rotate them a full 360 like so. Same is true with the other side, if I can get it. We also have a an elbow swivel on this one because it doesn't have any biceps. Well, a bicep swivel, so we can swivel both elbows all the way around a full 360 like so. We can also bend them forward and back like so. Same is true with the other arm. So let's bend that elbow there. And also, if we want to move the head some more, we can look right, left, up, and we can rotate that head in circles if we want to, making poor Godzilla dizzy. We also have a ball joint hinge in those wrists, so we can swivel those hands all the way around a full 360. And we do have a hinge for that claw swiping action, as you can see. Same is true with the other hand, so we do have that. So that pretty much concludes it for articulation for the upper body portion of the figure. Now I will be moving to the lower body portion of the figure, so let's get to it. And now, moving right along down to the lower body portion of the figure. As you can see, his legs are well sculpted. Very beautiful detailing on the hips and the shins and the knees and all that good stuff. Very beautiful paint apps on those toenails there. Very beautiful on those toe claws. Looking very sharp. Very, very detailed. Really like that. Although, like I said, with the QC issues, I think we've been just paying way too much for these figures, and it's just gotten unfeasible, especially for the effort they've been putting into quality control. So, like I said, that's why I'm not collecting these anymore. Although I still appreciate what I have. But anyway, getting into articulation with the legs. The legs, I believe, can rotate Yes, we can rotate a full 360, but have got to be, yeah. I'm not even going to do it with that one, because this one is kind of, well, I might be able, no, I'm not. Okay, that one's out of the question because it's too tight, but this one can rotate a full 360, and so can this one, but it is kind of tight, so I was kind of risking it there, but I did it for you guys, so yay me. But anyway, hips can also spread out about that much, and then back in that much. We also have a double joint hinge at the knees, so we can bend them forward and back like so. Same is true with the other side, so there's that. And the feet are on a ball joint, so we can swivel those feet. Well, not quite a full. Well, yeah, we can swivel them a full 360, but they are hindered by the sculpt quite a bit. And as you can see, mine just popped out. So hopefully I can get this back on camera. So wish me luck. So let's. All right. That went well. That was easy. Do I have it the right way? No, I don't. So I have to. Or can I just. Okay. Okay, now it's right. Okay, I have to fix the sleeve in the foot because I had them on backwards. Well, the ankle sleeve, I had that on backwards, but I fixed it. And we can also, I believe, this is stiff. We can rotate the other foot a full 360 and point them forward and back slightly, like you are witnessing. But yeah, that was making me a bit nervous. The tail, this is where the QC issues come into play. With the tail, you do have good articulation with the tail, but like I said, yeah, that's good articulation. Popping apart. Even after, as you can see, I applied multiple layers of clear nail polish to no avail. Yeah, that did me some good. You're supposed to pose this one. This does have somewhat improved articulation in the tail over the original, but as you can see, due to the QC issue, yeah, that's kind of pointless, and it's a pain in the bootay, if you ask me. So, like I said, that shouldn't be a thing. So you already know I'm going to take points off for that. So yeah, we can move it about that far this way, and yeah, it's pointless to even move it down. So that pretty much concludes it for the legs and the feet and the lower body portion of the figure. So now I will move right along to getting more in depth with the figure and accessories. And now to get more in depth with the figure and bring out his accessories here. So I am grabbing that now. So like I said, he comes with his heat ray breath effect part. He comes with the interchangeable jaw piece for the heat ray breath effect part. And we have these relaxed hands right here. So basically, to put the relaxed hands in, you basically pop his claw finger hands off of the ball joint on the wrist, and you just pop in his relaxed finger hands like so. No hassle involved whatsoever. So real easy peasy there. And of course, we can take out, let me take his head off. So if I can pop off that jaw and put this in. So basically I got to put this up in like so. Okay, this is fighting me, but I should be able to. I'll leave it like that for now. So put the head back on, and then basically what you want to do is put this up, position it right, and boom, there you have it. It's firing his heat ray in the air while kind of reenacting that scene from Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 2019 movie. And we can put it down like so. Oh, the head is stuck, so yeah. Let me move it this way and fix it. So yeah, we can do that as well. I don't have that piece in all the way because I'd probably have to heat it up with my hairdryer, but that's the best I can do for now. But it works. But anyway, yeah. I am now going to take this off. Let's put his regular jaw piece in. Hopefully I can get that back in securely. And yeah, it's good. Let me put his neck sleeve back in. Well, this way, I guess. Alrighty. Okay. And what else you can do with this, if you have a Tamashii Nation stand, which I have a good bit of them already, which is all in this baggie right here. Technically what I want to do is open this up, grab me one of these out of there, and then grab me one of these stand arms here. So, and this is easier than this is an easier method of using the heat ray without swapping out the jaw pieces. So what you want to do is you want to take this piece, let me find it right here, where that peg hole is, where you have a little socket. You want to take that, and you want to take the arm for the stand. You see how they have this peg at the top of this clear piece? You take that and you insert it in there. You plug that in like that, like so. And then you plug that into the stand, and you basically open his mouth, and you line it up like so, which just makes things a lot easier. And then there you have it. Boom. Voila. It works. You don't have to fiddle around and bother with this unless, like, you want him firing his heat ray straight up in the air, technically. But it works a lot better with this, technically. Although, like I said, I think we're paying way too much for these figures. Yeah. That fell off with very little effort. Yeah. Yeah. Now you see why I don't feel that S.H.MonsterArts is worth the crazy amount of money, or crazy amounts of money, that we've been paying anymore. Because, yeah, they don't necessarily hold together like they should. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. We should not be paying that for figures that do that. And this is what we're paying hundreds of dollars for. Yeah. What a disappointment. But anyway, with that said, I will now be getting into my final verdict and giving this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla X Kong The New Empire Godzilla 2024 pre-evolved figure here. If I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give this figure a drum roll, please. And yeah, we already know I'm taking points off, so I'm going to have to give this figure a very fair but well-deserved 3.4 stars. Why? I think detail is really good, articulation is really good, but could be better, because, yeah, some of the one of the hip joints is very tight. As you can see, I'm probably going to have to try to use some dish soap on that. Playability, how well it holds together, especially in the tail area, not so much. Yeah, Premium Bandai, S.H.MonsterArts. We're paying too much for this. So, do better. Or, I'm not buying any more of your figures. I'm going to buy figures from other lines and other brands. And Godzilla figures from other brands. Like, say, Hyatt Toys, Exquisite Basics, and, yeah, Super 7, which, guess what? Speaking of Super 7, they're not just making Godzilla figures, they're making Power Rangers figures, which I'm also interested in, so I might snag up some of those, as well as Super 7 Godzilla figures. And, yeah. They also have the Super 7 version of this guy that I'm interested in buying as well, so we might see that pop up on this channel sooner or later. But anyway, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this review. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, because that really helps out this channel. And as always, love you all, stay safe, God bless, and peace out.